Africa is a continent of immense potential. From lush landscapes to vibrant cultures, it holds untold promise. Yet a pervasive problem lingers, a mindset of poverty and dependency. This mindset acts as an invisible barrier to progress. It stifles innovation, discourages entrepreneurship, and perpetuates a cycle of reliance on external help. Resilience and determination are evident in the daily hustle. From bustling markets to rural fields, people labor tirelessly to make ends meet. Yet, the fruits of their labor often seem to slip through their fingers. Why? Because the mindset of poverty whispers that they are not deserving of success. This mindset permeates institutions, influences policies, and shapes the narrative of the entire continent. It creates a sense of helplessness, a belief that Africa is destined to be dependent on the generosity of others. But this is a false narrative, a dangerous illusion that must be shattered. Africa is not poor. It is a continent rich in resources, talent, and potential. The mindset of poverty and dependency is not innate. It is a learned behavior, a product of historical circumstances and external influences. For centuries, colonialism cast a long shadow over Africa, systematically exploiting its resources and undermining its people's sense of self-worth. This exploitation was not just economic, it was psychological. Colonizers instilled a belief that Africans were inferior, incapable of governing themselves or managing their own affairs. Even after independence, the vestiges of colonialism continued to shape the continent's destiny. Africa must shed the weight of perception and embrace a new narrative, one of self-belief, innovation, and prosperity. Breaking free from the shackles of this mindset is not a task for the faint of heart. It requires a fundamental shift in perspective, a collective awakening to the immense potential that lies dormant within the continent. This transformation begins with education, not just the traditional kind, but an education that fosters critical thinking, problem-solving, and a belief in one's own abilities. Beyond education, Africa needs to foster a culture that encourages entrepreneurship and innovation, a belief that solutions to Africa's challenges lie not in handouts, but in the hands of its own people. To understand the roots of the dependency mindset, we must journey back in time. European powers, driven by greed and a false sense of superiority, carved up the continent like a prize, imposing their will and exploiting its riches. This exploitation was not merely about extracting resources. It was about dismantling existing systems of governance, trade, and social cohesion. Traditional economies based on local knowledge and sustainable practices were disrupted and replaced with systems designed to serve the interests of the colonizers. The legacy of colonialism is not just about economic inequality. It's about a loss of identity, a fracturing of self-belief that has made it challenging for many Africans to envision themselves as masters of their own destiny. The seeds of doubt sown during colonialism did not vanish with independence. The newly independent African nations, often left with weak institutions and economies still tethered to their former colonizers, struggled to establish their footing on the global stage. The promises of independence, economic prosperity, social justice, and political stability proved elusive for many. The international community, often with the best of intentions, stepped in with aid packages and development programs, but these often came with conditions that perpetuated, rather than alleviated, the cycle of dependency. The message, however unintentional, was clear. Africa needed help, and that help had to come from elsewhere. While colonialism may be a thing of the past, its shadow lingers in the form of neo-colonialism. This new iteration of an old evil is more subtle, operating through the levers of global finance, trade, and aid, but its impact is no less insidious. It perpetuates the power imbalances of the past, keeping Africa in a state of economic dependency and hindering its ability to chart its own course. One of the most insidious aspects of neocolonialism is the illusion of benevolence. It presents itself as a helping hand, offering aid, loans, and investment opportunities. However, these often come with strings attached, trapping African nations in cycles of debt and forcing them to adopt policies that benefit Western corporations and interests, rather than their own people. Africa's abundant natural resources, often touted as a blessing, have become a double-edged sword. The dependency mindset, deeply ingrained since colonial times, has turned this potential wealth into a source of vulnerability, fueling a vicious cycle known as the resource curse. Instead of being a springboard for development, these resources often become a magnet for exploitation, corruption, and conflict. Western corporations, often in cahoots with corrupt officials, secure lucrative contracts to extract minerals, oil, or timber at rock-bottom prices. The profits rarely trickle down to benefit the local population, who often bear the brunt of environmental degradation and social disruption. This dependency on raw material exports leaves African economies at the mercy of volatile global markets. The solution lies not in wishing away these resources, but in changing the way they are managed and utilized. African nations must move away from the colonial model of resource extraction and embrace a new paradigm of sustainable development. The West often portrays itself as a benevolent benefactor, generously extending a helping hand to Africa through aid programs and development assistance. While well-intentioned, this narrative of charity often masks the subtle ways in which aid can perpetuate dependency and undermine self-reliance. Aid, when delivered with strings attached or channeled through inefficient bureaucracies, can create a culture of reliance, stifling local initiative and innovation. Too often, aid projects are designed with Western priorities in mind, failing to address the root causes of poverty or reflect local knowledge and expertise. The goal should not be to make Africa perpetually dependent on handouts, but to empower nations to stand on their own 2 feet. Breaking free from the shackles of dependency demands a fundamental shift in mindset, both within Africa and in the way the world perceives the continent. It requires a rejection of the outdated narrative of a helpless continent in need of saving and an embrace of a new narrative, one that recognizes Africa's immense potential and agency. This transformation begins with Africans reclaiming their narrative, celebrating their successes, and charting their own course towards a brighter future. It's time to move beyond the begging bowl mentality and embrace a spirit of self-reliance. This means fostering a culture of entrepreneurship, innovation, and hard work. The world, too, must shed its outdated perceptions of Africa. Imagine a young girl born in a rural village with dreams as vast as the African sky. She dares to envision a future where her community thrives, where poverty is a distant memory, and where her children inherit a legacy of prosperity. This vision, fueled by an unshakable belief in her own potential and the potential of her continent, is the spark that ignites true transformation. For too long, the narrative of Africa has been one of limitations, of insurmountable challenges, and of a perpetual need for external assistance. It's time to rewrite this narrative, to replace it with a story of self-belief, resilience, and boundless possibility. This shift begins with each individual African embracing their own agency, recognizing their power to shape their own destiny and contribute to the continent's progress. Section 2. Charting a new course. Breaking free from the dependency trap requires more than just a shift in mindset. It demands concrete action and a commitment to charting a new course for Africa's development. This new course must be paved with innovation, driven by entrepreneurship, and guided by a deep understanding of the continent's unique strengths and challenges. It requires embracing a model of development that prioritizes self-reliance, sustainability, and equitable growth. One crucial step is investing in Africa's most valuable resource, its people. This means prioritizing education, not just in traditional subjects, but also in skills that are relevant to the 21st century economy, such as technology, entrepreneurship, and critical thinking. It means empowering women and girls, recognizing that their full participation in all sectors of society is essential for sustainable development. Another key pillar is fostering an environment that nurtures innovation and entrepreneurship. This requires reducing bureaucratic hurdles, tackling corruption, and creating a level playing field for businesses to thrive. It means investing in infrastructure, particularly in areas such as energy, transportation, and technology, to connect markets and unlock economic potential. Furthermore, African nations must move away from the colonial model of resource extraction and embrace a new paradigm of value addition and industrialization. This means processing raw materials within Africa, creating local jobs, and capturing more of the profits from the continent's natural wealth. It also means prioritizing sustainable environmental practices, recognizing that true development cannot come at the expense of future generations. Section 3. A global tapestry of success. The journey towards self-reliance is not one that Africa must undertake alone. The world is replete with inspiring examples of nations that have successfully navigated this path, transforming themselves from aid recipients to global economic powerhouses. These stories offer valuable lessons and blueprints for African nations seeking to chart a similar course. Consider the remarkable transformation of Singapore. Once a small island nation with limited resources, Singapore embraced a vision of self-reliance, investing heavily in education, infrastructure, and attracting foreign investment. Today, it stands as a global hub for finance, technology, and innovation, a testament to the power of strategic planning and a commitment to excellence. South Korea offers another compelling example. Emerging from the ashes of war, South Korea embarked on an ambitious program of industrialization and export-led growth. By focusing on education, technology, and a highly skilled workforce, South Korea transformed itself into a global leader in electronics, automobiles, and shipbuilding. These success stories, while unique in their specific contexts, share common threads that resonate with Africa's current challenges and aspirations. They demonstrate the transformative power of visionary leadership, strategic planning, and an unwavering belief in the potential of one's own people. They underscore the importance of investing in human capital, fostering innovation, and creating an enabling environment for businesses to flourish. By studying these models, adapting them to their own unique circumstances, and forging partnerships based on mutual respect and shared prosperity, African nations can chart a new course towards a future where self-reliance, innovation, and sustainable development are the hallmarks of their success. Section 1. A new dawn. A new dawn is breaking over Africa. Across the continent, a spirit of awakening stirs, a collective yearning for a future free from the shackles of dependency. This awakening is driven by the dreams of its youth, the ingenuity of its entrepreneurs, and the unwavering spirit of its people. It is a movement fueled by the belief that Africa holds the key to its own destiny, that its potential for greatness far outweighs the challenges it faces. This new dawn signals a break from the past, a rejection of the narrative of limitations, and a bold embrace of self-belief. It is a recognition that Africa's future will not be built on handouts or charity, but on the foundations of innovation, hard work, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. It is about harnessing the continent's vast human and natural resources to create opportunities, generate wealth, and build a brighter future for generations to come. This transformation will not be easy. It demands a collective effort, a shared vision, and an unwavering commitment to breaking down the barriers that have held Africa back for too long. It requires confronting corruption, strengthening institutions, and fostering a culture of accountability and good governance. It means investing in education, healthcare, and infrastructure to create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive and for citizens to reach their full potential. But the most important ingredient in this journey is a fundamental shift in mindset. It is about replacing the narrative of dependency with one of self-reliance, replacing doubt with belief, and replacing despair with hope. It is about recognizing that the solutions to Africa's challenges lie not in distant capitals, but in the hearts and minds of its own people. Section 2. The call to action. The time for rhetoric is over. The time for action is now. This is a call to action for all Africans, both at home and in the diaspora, to join hands and build the Africa of our dreams. It is a call to action for governments, businesses, civil society organizations, and individuals to embrace the spirit of self-reliance and work together to create a more prosperous, equitable, and sustainable future for all. This call to action is not about asking for handouts or relying on external saviors. It is about recognizing that the power to transform Africa lies within its own people. It is about harnessing the continent's immense entrepreneurial spirit, its vibrant cultures, and its unwavering resilience to drive progress from within. This is a call for African governments to prioritize good governance, transparency, and accountability. It is about creating an enabling environment for businesses to thrive, attracting investments, and fostering innovation. It is about investing in education, healthcare, and infrastructure to empower citizens and unlock their full potential. This is a call for African businesses to step up and become engines of growth and job creation. It is about embracing ethical business practices, investing in local communities, and contributing to the continent's sustainable development. It is about fostering a culture of innovation, embracing new technologies, and competing on a global stage. This is a call for every African citizen to embrace the spirit of self-reliance, to work hard, to innovate, and to contribute to the collective good. It is about demanding better from our leaders, holding them accountable, and actively participating in the democratic process. It is about believing in ourselves, in our continent, and in our collective power to shape a brighter future. Section 3. Africa's Renaissance. A new era is dawning for Africa. The continent stands at the cusp of a renaissance, a period of rebirth and renewal that promises to unleash its true potential. This renaissance will not be a replica of past glories or a mimicry of Western models of development. It will be uniquely African, rooted in the continent's rich history, diverse cultures, and unwavering spirit. This renaissance will be driven by innovation, powered by technology, and fueled by the dreams and aspirations of Africa's youth. It will be a period of unprecedented economic growth, social progress, and cultural resurgence. It will be a time when Africa reclaims its rightful place on the global stage, not as a recipient of aid or a source of raw materials, but as a hub of innovation, a driver of global growth, and a beacon of hope for the world. This renaissance will be characterized by a spirit of Pan-Africanism, a recognition that Africa's strength lies in its unity and collective action. It will see the continent breaking down artificial barriers, fostering regional integration, and working together to address shared challenges. It will be a time when Africa speaks with one voice on the global stage, advocating for its interests and contributing to the building of a more just and equitable world order. The journey towards this renaissance will not be without its challenges, but the spirit of Africa is one of resilience, of overcoming adversity, and of emerging stronger from every trial. The time has come to shed the weight of the past, to embrace the possibilities of the present, and to build a future worthy of Africa's immense potential. Let the African Renaissance begin.